Well, welcome back to Whole Bible Study with Taddy Noy. If you're just joining us, we've been following the dramatic rise of Moses as he leads the Israelites out of Egypt. After witnessing God's power through the 10 plagues and the miraculous crossing of the Red Sea, the Israelites are now traveling through the wilderness. They've experienced miraculous provision, manna from heaven, water from the rock, and are learning to trust God daily. In this chapter, Moses has a deeply personal reunion with his father-in-law, Jethro, and what follows is one of the most foundational moments in the Bible when it comes to leadership, delegation, and community structure. Let's read Exodus chapter 18 together. Exodus chapter 18 from the NIV version. Now Jethro, the priest of Midian, the father-in-law of Moses, heard of everything God had done for Moses and for his people Israel, and how the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. After Moses had sent away his wife Zipporah, his father-in-law Jethro received her, along with her 2 sons. One son was named Gershom, for Moses said, "I have become a foreigner in a foreign land." And the other was named Eliezer, for he said, "My father's God is my helper. He saved me from the sword of Pharaoh." Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, together with Moses' sons and wife, came to him in the wilderness where he camped near the mountain of God. Jethro had sent word to him, I, your father-in-law Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and her 2 sons. So Moses went out to meet his father-in-law and bowed down and kissed him. They greeted each other and then went into the tent. Moses told his father-in-law about everything the Lord had done to Pharaoh and the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and about all the hardships they met along the way, and how the Lord had saved them. Jethro was delighted to hear about all of the good things the Lord had done for Israel in rescuing them from the hand of the Egyptians. He said, "Praise be to the Lord who rescued you from the hand of the Egyptians and of Pharaoh, and who rescued the people from the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all other gods, for he did this to those who had treated Israel arrogantly." Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, brought a burnt offering and other sacrifices to God, and Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat a meal with Moses' father-in-law in the presence of God. The next day, Moses took his seat to serve as judge for the people, and they stood around him from morning till evening. When his father-in-law saw all that Moses was doing for the people, he said, What is this you are doing for the people? Why do you alone sit as judge, while all the people stand around you from morning till evening?" Moses answered him, "Because the people come to me to speak God's will. Whenever they have a dispute, it is brought to me, and I decide between the parties and inform them of God's decrees and instructions." Moses' father-in-law replied, What you are doing is not good, and you and these people who have come to you will only wear yourselves out. The work is too heavy for you. You cannot handle it alone. Listen now to me, and I will give you some advice, and may God be with you. You must be the people's representative before God and bring their disputes to him. Teach them his decrees and instructions, and show them the way that they are to live and how they are to behave. But select capable men from all the people, men who fear God, trustworthy men who hate dishonest gain, and appoint them as officials over thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. Have them serve as judges for the people at all times, but have them bring every difficult case to you. The simple cases they can decide themselves. They will make your load lighter because they will share it with you. If you do this, and God so commands, you will be able to stand the strain, and all these people will go home satisfied. Moses listened to his father-in-law and did everything he said. He chose capable men from all of Israel and made them leaders of the people, officials over thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. They served as judges for the people at all times. The difficult cases they brought to Moses, but the simple ones they decided themselves. Then Moses sent his father-in-law on his way, and Jethro returned to his own country. Deep dive, Exodus chapter 18. Exodus chapter 18 stands as a turning point in the structure of ancient Israelite society. While previous chapters showcased God's power and provision, this one offers a different kind of revelation: wisdom through relationship, leadership through delegation, and divine guidance through community discernment. The chapter opens with the arrival of Jethro, Moses' father-in-law and priest of Midian. This is more than a family visit. It's a reunion of spiritual magnitude. Jethro, a non-Israelite, hears of Yahweh's power and delivers Moses' wife and children back into his care. His name, Jethro, means his abundance, or excellence in Hebrew, a subtle nod to the abundance of the wisdom he brings. Jethro had long been a spiritual leader in Midian, and his recognition of Yahweh here marks a powerful moment of interreligious acknowledgement. Moses greets him with humility, bowing and kissing him, an act rich in cultural honor. He shares the story of deliverance, and Jethro responds with praise. What's notable is that Jethro doesn't just acknowledge God, he worships. Verse 12 tells us he offers sacrifices and breaks bread with the elders. This meal is not just hospitality, it's a ritual affirmation of God's work across cultural boundaries. Then comes the most impactful part of the chapter. Jethro observes Moses sitting all day to judge the disputes of the people. From a leadership perspective, this is unsustainable. Jethro's words in verse 17 are blunt and wise. What you are doing is not good. That phrase echoes the language of Genesis when God saw that man should not be alone. In this, there's a reoccurring biblical truth. Leadership, like life, is not meant to be carried alone. Anthropologically, this interaction captures the wisdom tradition of the ancient Near East. Elders often served as tribal judges. The councils of elders would discern communal disputes. Jethro brings that cultural model into Israel's wilderness experience. His instruction in verses 21 through 22 reveals a structured approach. Select capable men who are God-fearing and trustworthy and hate dishonest gain. These three qualifications become a foundational filter for biblical leadership and later inform New Testament models of deacons and elders. The brilliance here isn't just in the advice, it's in the relational delivery. Jethro doesn't undermine Moses, he empowers him. He honors Moses' role as intermediary before God while freeing him to lead from a position of strength, not exhaustion. This is one of the first examples of shared leadership in the Bible. It foreshadows the later appointment of elders and judges across Israel's history. It also highlights something deeply human: the need for help, the importance of delegation, and the wisdom of listening to outside voices, especially those rooted in love and spiritual depth. It's also worth noting the term judge here. In Hebrew, the word is shafat, which means more than legal arbitration. It implies righteous governance and decision-making rooted in divine order. These judges weren't just resolving conflicts, they were upholding the covenantal values of justice and compassion. And this brings us to the heart of the matter. Leadership in God's kingdom is never about control. It's about stewardship. It's about empowering others. It's about bearing the weight of responsibility with community, humility, and wisdom. In the modern application, this chapter is a reminder to those in positions of influence: pastors, teachers, parents, mentors. that burning out is not a badge of honor. It's a warning. Even Moses, chosen by God, needed wise counsel and a lighter load. And Jethro, he models what it looks like to speak truth in love, to honor God across cultural lines, and to walk away not clean but blessing. Now for some closing reflections. I find this chapter so refreshing. There's no miracle here, no thunder from heaven, but there is a quiet, powerful moment of wisdom, humility, and shared leadership. And honestly, I need that reminder sometimes. We can get caught up in doing everything ourselves, thinking we're supposed to carry it all. But God often brings people into our lives, like Jethro, who help us see more clearly. Maybe you've had a Jethro in your life, or maybe you've seen a Jethro for somebody else. And maybe this chapter is your invitation to rest, to delegate, to lead from a place of peace instead of pressure. If this resonated with you, or if there's something you saw in this chapter that I didn't touch on, I'd love to hear your insights. Drop a comment. Let's keep this growing. Let's keep our education going together. Thank you for walking with me through this journey. Your presence matters here. May you be blessed with wisdom, with helpers, and with rest as you lead and serve wherever God has placed you. Thank you again for staying with me on this chapter, and we will see you in the next chapter tomorrow.